friend of mine, a dad, a coach. I mean, he has a lot of titles and wears a lot of hats, but he's also a broadcaster of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. The second state championship game he's going to call this year, he called the girls basketball state championship against these two schools, and there's a strike three, so back-to-back strikeouts for pitcher Hudson Campbell is Matthew White. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Thrift, glad to be here, and thank you for the invite today.
No doubt. When we are doing these games, if I don't have Richard, the first person I'm calling is Matthew White, and I appreciate you coming and helping us out. Like I said, you've done it for football, and you're the mixer guy for football, basketball, and baseball, but also whenever Georgia Alabama Sports Live needs you, calls your number, you are here. Hudson Campbell's on the mound. He is 4-1 this season, pitched 28 innings, and right now in the first inning, and there's a catch by Matthew's son, Camden White, and there's a 1-2-3 inning, 2 strikeouts for Hudson Campbell, and we are looking like maybe we're going to have a pitcher's duel, hopefully, between these two incredible teams. We had 2 incredible games. We'll talk about that when we get back from break here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, like this powerful all-new GMC Sierra 1500 SLT, now available with up to $13,000 off.
Welcome back, everyone. Thrift Behringer here with Matthew White on Georgia Alabama Sports Live as the Gators go 1-2-3 in that first inning, and now they take on Pelzer Reeves, who's a starting quarterback for the Lee Scott Warriors this year.
They got you wrong on that. Pelzer's at second base. This is Jack McKay. It's going to be on the hill for Lee Scott.
Well, somebody just got me good. Jack McKay is actually on the mound. Pelzer Reeves is at second base, who's a pretty good second baseman. But these two teams in game one, Glenwood, as Mace McCrane now up, the power hitter who has 9 runs on the season, batting over 500, and got that game one victory. In game one, it was 1-0 all the way to the top of the 6th. McCrane gives up a run, Lee Scott ties it at 1. Then the bottom half of the 6th, Glenwood scores 3 runs, and they end up winning that one 4-1. In game number 2, Lee Scott took and pitched down the middle for strike 2. Lee Scott took a 3-0 lead, and then slowly but surely Glenwood kept chopping away, and they finally tied the game in the top of the 7th to 4-3 lead in extra innings in the 9th, and Lee Scott 2 in the bottom of the 9th to win it 5-4, and that is why we're here for the winner take all, as there is out number 1. McCrane hits it to Pelzer Reeves. What are some things you learned from games 2, Matt?
Well, the first 2 games were all it was about pitching. Both sides had great pitching on Wednesday. And really in that first game, I think Lee Scott made a couple of defensive errors, which gave us an edge. And in that second game, we returned the favor. We made a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes, which gave them the throw advantage early.
And there is a hit right back to the pitcher, and McKay makes an easy play, and that was Hudson Campbell that hit it back, the pitcher himself. And here comes now third baseman Carter Judah. And it seemed, with this Glenwood bats, especially in the games before Lee Scott, Matt, they got off to hot starts and they got off to big leads early. it seems like Lee Scott's pitching has minimized a lot of the hitting threats for Glenwood.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee Scott's got they got two really good, the two guys we faced on Wednesday. And then Jack is a guy that we've seen a lot. He's been pitching against us since the 7th grade. So, you know, we've had good success against him throughout the years, but he's a pretty good right-handed pitcher here for Lee Scott.
And right now it's about pitching depth, especially in a Game 3 in which Sykes already pitches 120. You don't have McCrane anymore. So now you're left with your bullpen and your number 3 starter. So we're going to see who's number 3 starter, Campbell or McKay, is going to be the best today as a 3-0 count. And Judah is going to get a – oh, no. Whoa. Matt, we're not going to start early, but that was in the other batter's box. But we'll say strike one to make it 3-1. And, of course, that one's going to be strike. That's down the middle, so make it 3-2. And there's ball 4. When talking with Coach Fanning a little bit, they want to execute better when runners in scoring position, not leaving runners stranded. It seemed like that happened a lot in game number 2. Do you feel the confidence with the boys when you were down there and around the team that, you know what, they're focused on this game and they can handle the pressure?
I think, you know, yesterday what you're mentioning, the 2 leaving guys in scoring position, there was 2 times in the second game yesterday we had the bases loaded and with 1 out or less, and we only got 1 run each time. You know, Coach Fanning talked to the boys after the game on Wednesday and then yesterday at their short practice they had, and he really feels confident about today. He thinks today plays into our hands and gives us an advantage. We've got more pitching left than Lee Scott does. They burned through a lot more pitching on Wednesday than we did.
Yep.
And I think we're set up if we can you know, work ahead of hitters. If Hudson can just pound that zone and force contact, which is 2 key points that Coach Fanning preaches to the pitchers, if he can do that today and work ahead in the count, we should be in good shape.
Yeah, that's what happened there in that 9th inning. Levi got behind in the count, and then bases are loaded. A lot of pressure on him as Levi Penner, who's actually up the bat right now. And that's a tough spot anyway. You're coming in and after 8 innings of incredible work by Tyler Sykes. I want to say this, Matt, and you want to pick it back off it, you can. What he did after being down 3-0, you know, that's that psychological thing, that mental thing that some people can't overcome. Mm-hmm. I thought he was fantastic. He was shut out the rest of the game, and he would have been my MVP if Glenwood ended up winning that game because he was excellent, even in the extra innings. Anything you want to add on to that?
Yeah, Tyler, he's consistent. He's been that way since the 8th grade when he started pitching for us, and I mean, he's the same guy every time he gets on that mound. He was getting a lot of chatter out of the Lee Scott student section yesterday, and he blocked that out or maybe even used it as a little bit of fuel.
Yeah. That's a great point, especially when he was trying to do the pickoff moves and was just lobbing it over to first base, just amping up the crowd. But he was that way in basketball. And are they going to say he went? Yes, he did. And there is strikeout and out number 3. So 1 left on after a walk means nothing for Glenwood. We're going to head to the top of the 2nd. It is a winner-take-all. The final time these 2 teams or in schools will ever face off in the AISA here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Today's broadcast is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC and Opelika. Go to glennsmith.com for more information. Get ready to smile. Welcome back, everyone. This game is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. And right now, me and Matthew White are smiling as the Gators and Lee Scott in a winner-take-all here in Pattersonville. The weather could not be more beautiful after yesterday's monsoon, and J.D. Burns is now up to bat and gets a 1-0 count. Me and you were talking off-air, Matt. Coach Fanning's already made some adjustments out in the field. You want to talk about that and how it could be beneficial for the Gators?
Yeah, you know, typically this season, anytime Hudson's been on the mound, he is the starting right fielder.
And that,
short pop-up. Nice play by Jackson to get back there looking up into the sun to make that catch for the first out. But typically when Hudson comes in, he comes out of right field to come to the mound. We usually move Eli Bankston out of left across to right side, the right field area. And Mac Blair usually comes in, which is he's another sophomore on the team. But today, instead of moving Eli, we just slid Mason McCrane out to right field and left Levi Pender at first base today.
Well, hopefully it works out. And I know Coach Finn, he is a strategist, especially when it comes to the game of baseball. And there's going to be out number 2, easy play for Levi Pender. And how about that? About 3 pitches for a guy in Hudson Campbell, who is a sophomore this year. And in that 3-game series earlier this year, you talked about it. McCrane and Sykes pitched game 1 and 2. They won those games. And in game 3, he decided not to pitch Pender or Campbell and Coach Fanning. He decided to go Denny. Now, Lee Scott did win that game, but they didn't face a guy in Hudson Campbell, so they have really no film or anything on him or experience going against this guy, do they, Matt?
Right, yeah. Pender came in relief in that 3rd game, but they haven't seen Hudson. Hudson's, he's a smaller lefty. He throws pretty good. He's got some good velocity. But, typically in high school you get that small frame lefty up there, and it always gives the opposing hitters a lot of trouble.
Yep.
And another key that we'll talk about as far as yesterday's game getting rained out is kind of another advantage to us is Hudson got hit with a pitch Wednesday in his throwing hand.
Yep.
So it kind of gave him an extra day to let that kind of heal up and get that bruise a little better to give him an advantage here on the mound today.
I think that's a great point. And, both those scenes were high off emotion. Can I do a hot take, and you tell me if you agree or disagree? And if you disagree, please tell me you disagree. Why don't they just play Game 3 if they have lights here on Wednesday and just play all 3 games in one day? Why did they make it the 2-day? Do you have a problem with that? And what's your assessment?
Well, I'm going to tell you why they didn't.
Okay.
So on Tuesday, they played the 1A and 2A championship games, and those were doubleheaders. If they were to have split, they would have come back and played their if game Wednesday after our game.
Gotcha.
So there was already a potential for 4 games that day. So that's why they wait and play the if game the next day for this 3A matchup.
That definitely makes sense. And there is going to be a 2-out walk for Lane Eddins. So now he's on base. I also want to say shout out to my guy Richard Holdridge. He got here earlier than almost the grounds crew to make sure that we were going to have a good spot. And then we got the text about 10 minutes after he got here that the game had been rained out. So that is why you got to have someone like Richard Holdridge on the team. Can take it off the chin, and now he's heading up to Woodstock to call it the Calvary State Championship. By the way, that's going to be immediately after this game on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So we got 3 games for you. This one, Game 3, and Games 1 and 2 of the Calvary State Championship. And that one's going to be hit off the mound, able to collect it and make the tag. How about that play, Matthew? And there is out number 3. We're going to head to the bottom of the 2nd. Can Glenwood get some runs on the board? It's 0-0 here in a winner-take-all in Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live will be on the road May 15 as we do our show live from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Join Richard Holdridge and myself as we talk about the amazing finish to our high school baseball teams in the area, NBA playoffs, the Columbus Lions, Atlanta Braves, and so much more with our special guests. Be sure to come out and watch us live May 15 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, and get ready to smile.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox. Discounted up to $6,500 off. Chevy's full-size pickup truck, the powerful Chevy Silverado, is up to $12,000 off. And big Chevy Silverado 2500 HDs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall. Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Up the bat is Eli Bankston, and he just made an incredible play at second base. Did he play second base?
No.
No, I knew I was going to get it wrong right now because
Logan Henderson at second
Logan
base.
Henderson,
Yep.
not Eli Bankston, because Logan Henderson is the one we were just talking about.
That's right.
That-
Eli's the left fielder, senior.
This is why I got Matt up here, because he knows more about this team than I do. And I've been covering them all season, so that should show you maybe I'm not the best broadcaster. But there is a strikeout there
Yep.
for Eli Bankston. So out number one, McKay has been throwing. I like what I'm seeing from both these pitchers, McKay and Campbell, especially in a pressurized game like this. It's pretty impressive from guys that aren't the day one starters, but they don't have to be in this one.
Yeah, Jack with a 3-pitch strikeout there. Really good breaking ball to finish off Bankston there.
I want to say thank you to our sponsors like Superior Roofing. Thank you to Cody Dykes, a former alumni of the Glenwood Gators. Actually, all the Dykes were alumni of the Glenwood Gators. For all your roofing needs, give Superior Roofing a call. Swing and a miss there to make it 1-1. Also, thank you to Rocket Stone. I literally just saw Greg Ballard walk in right now for all your stone needs. You better not call anybody else other than Greg Ballard and Rocket Stone. And that is going to be 2-1. Up to bat now is been playing the DH is Wilkinson. How do you feel about him being the DH today, Matt?
Yeah, he's had a few at-bats this year. He got a pinch hit opportunity.
So was that his first time? Because
no, he
many
had
people we were talking up here, all us broadcasters. Was that his first at-bat, or he had actually, and look at
There's
that.
a nice little slap single there to the left side.
So he's actually been had at-bats.
He's
That
had
wasn't just a big-time moment that
Well,
he just got thrown into.
It was a big-time moment, and I know the nerves were there for him. But he's had 2 or 3 pinch hit at-bats this year, hit the ball very well. And Coach Fanning felt yesterday with Jackson Griggs was struggling a little bit. Let's try to get some momentum. And now today he's earned himself into this DH spot.
And center fielder is the senior, and I think one of the captains on this team, Camden White. We talk about it every time. He has potential to be AISA All-Star in football, basketball, and probably going to be baseball this year as well. That's an incredible feat from an incredible athlete that is now going to Huntington College next year. So can't wait to be cheering him on. This right here in this Montgomery area.
Right here.
Man, so you're going to be up here a lot next fall, aren't you?
Right across the road, going to be on the football team for Huntington. We're looking forward to it.
1-1 the count, and how about that one? He's going to hit it right to the left fielder, and that's going to be out number 2. Up next is Griggs. Griggs normally was the number 2 hitter those first 2 games. He's made some adjustments in the lineup. How do you feel about those, Matt? And you watched the team all year long. Usually in playoffs, I thought it was just pretty consistent how you keep the batting lineup, but he decided to change it up here in this final game.
Yeah, I think as far as Jackson went, he's struggled the last couple of games to really make solid contact with anything. Pick the play down the first, going to get out in right field. Can we get an interference call here? Coach Fanning's wanting an interference call as the first baseman tripped up Andrew as he tried to get up and run, but we're not going to get the call.
Do you understand how mad and I understand why he's frustrated? I mean, I think that's a pretty blatant call, right, Matt? I mean,
it would seem that as he's getting up trying to run to second, we should get that call. Coach Stillwell not happy there at first base, coaching box either, and Coach Fanning gets a quick word from the home plate umpire, not going to get the answer we want.
Again, just bad luck there, too. I don't think he was deliberately trying to do that. It's just wrong place, wrong time, but it doesn't matter. If he's impeding the runner, a call should have been made. Nothing there, so we're going to go ahead and start the at-bat for Griggs. And Griggs makes it.
Yeah, 1-0. I think that's the first pitch
Right.
to him there.
Is it?
No,
No, 1-1.
1-1.
I thought that was the second pitch because that's why he just threw it down. And I was like, you know what, before I say anything, 1-1 the count now to Griggs. And that one's going to be a slow roller that is hit out of play.
Yeah, I want to say Jackson and really Camden. I mean, Wednesday's game, neither one of them were really seeing it well. They weren't barreling the ball up. And I think that's a reason. Camden had already gotten dropped in the lineup a couple of spots coming into the championship series, and then today dropping Jackson down a bit. Trying to just make an adjustment, see if we can find something that fits here.
And he takes that one to make it 2-2. Two and two, 2 outs, and that one's going to be hit in between the gap of the third baseman and shortstop, and there's a 2-out single to make it first and second. And coming up to bat now for the Glenwood Gators is the guy that you like a lot. That is Logan Henderson, who you say he puts it in play a lot, and if he can put it in play here, hopefully get a base hit, maybe we can get a run out of it.
That's right. Got a runner in scoring position here. Logan, I like to compare him to Tony Gwynn in a way.
Okay.
Obviously,
Left-handed.
stature's a little different other
Right.
than the left side, but
Right.
Logan's a bit thinner than Tony was, but straight contact. I mean, this guy puts the ball in play. He rarely doesn't put the ball in play. Makes good contact right off the barrel every time. We'll see if he can find a hole here.
So it's first and second, 2 outs. McKay, first time he's in trouble here. And the bottom of the second, and that one's high for ball 1. And you got to think too. You made mention a lot of these guys have seen McKay many times before this game, so he may be on his A game the first time he goes them, but the second or third time is where the Glenwood bats could hopefully get at it. But maybe he can here as Henderson takes ball 2 to make it 2-0. Legendary Patterson Field. Coach Fanning trying to get his 10th championship, I think, on this field, or majority of them from this field. Another bad throw, but not able to get up because he's having to dive back, Matt. And, again, a player was on top of him.
You know, it's something, Thrift, that as a player, I was a catcher, and it's not that McKay's in a ton of trouble right here. He's got 2 outs
Right.
in the 9th spot in the lineup, but I never like when it's a pressure situation like this, we throw pickoff moves because you're just opening the door for a bad throw to compound the problem that you've already got. Like this, if that catcher would have airmailed that into right field, I mean, that's a run.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's a great point. And we're definitely going to utilize as you played in high school. Did you play in college?
Played at Glenwood, and I played 1 year at Enterprise State Junior College.
Let me tell you something. Don't mention the year because I played 1 year of junior college and for basketball at West Georgia Tech. We still get to claim that we play college baseball and college basketball, so I don't care what no one says. Enterprise, the Boll Weevils?
The Boll Weevils, that was us.
Boll Weevils.
Lane Griggs, a member of last year's team down there at Enterprise right now playing for the Boll Weevils.
Do you think the pickoff move also hurts throwing strikes? Because you start focusing on other things, or you don't think really has anything to do with it as he has another walk to load the bases here with 2 outs?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you know, the Lee Scott coach is going to come out, and this is kind of their MO, is they love to try to control the pace of the game. They love to slow everything down. Their batters will call timeout in a hurry when they're in the box. If they think the pitcher's taking too long, coach takes real slow walks when he comes out and talks. You got the bases loaded here with 2 outs with, you know, the best player in the game is at the plate right now. Mason McCrane, he's a junior, committed to go play at Auburn University. So this is a big spot. You know, a big base hit right here can really, you know, kind of open things up for the Gators. And if the coach can go settle McKay down a little bit, if he can get McCrane out, you think about the momentum boost that can give Lee Scott to get out of the bases loaded spot against McCrane.
And you may mention McCrane, who was last year the best player in the game was Jackson Milam. You know, he's batting over 500, 10, 15 home runs. The guy's phenomenal. Play at the next level right now. But I think McCrane has stepped in huge. Man, I really do. We're losing a lot of players last year. McCrane, White, Henderson, Campbell, Carter Judah. We've had a lot of guys step up after that historic top 10 nationally ranked Glenwood team.
Yeah, you know, you talk about losing a lot of players. One returning starter on this Glenwood team, and that's Jackson Griggs.
That's unbelievable. And that one is going to be down the line for a base hit. Here comes one run. Here comes two runs. This one may be three. Nope, he's holding him up, but one pitch, and you made mention this is why he's the best in the game. Bases loaded, hits a two-out double to score 2 runs. How about that from McCrane?
He tucked that just inside the base there, going down the first base line, and that's a big hit. Mason, I'm going to tell you, I was very impressed with Mason Wednesday. I told him after his pitching performance, I said, you know, you're a D1 player, and that's what D1 players do. They dominate the game at this level, and, I mean, he is on fire right now. He has really heated up over the last 2 or 3 weeks. The first-round series against Morgan, I mean, they just kept pitching to him, and he was driving the ball to opposite field. Finally hit a home run off of him.
Yep.
And so he's on fire right now.
And now, McKay, you're starting to see a little inconsistency, and he's starting to lose a little command and control, and which is understandable. And that's a tough spot to pitch to McCrane. And now he, as Campbell, the pitcher, takes a strike, and it's 1-1 here with 2 outs. Runners on second and third. A base hit here with McCrane at second is definitely going to score, but he's going to hit that one straight up in the air. And the shortstop is going to overrun it. Yeah.
Just come close to overrunning that.
But how about Mason McCrane coming up big with a huge 2-out double to score 2 runs, and the Gators lead 2-0. We're going to the top of the third. Matthew White, Thrift Behringer here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox. Discounted up to $6,500 off. Chevy's full-size pickup truck, the powerful Chevy Silverado, is up to $12,000 off. And big Chevy Silverado 2500 HDs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall. Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone. We also want to thank our sponsor, State Farm, Carol Purdue. Miss Carol Purdue, her daughter, Elizabeth Purdue, graduate here. Thank you, one of the top insurance agencies in the Phoenix City and Tri-City area. As Campbell has that one fouled back by Braden Butler, the third baseman, who was pretty phenomenal on that game too, because there were several times a hot shot that gets past him. Glenwood may have scored a few runs, and that game could have been over with. He was really good, especially those bases-loaded instances where he was on the grass. And there is
missed off the plate there.
That's going to be 1-1. Matt, I tried my hardest, and there's a football on the field. Wrong sport, Matt, wrong sport. Even though these two teams face off in the football state championship, which we won't talk about, because I don't want to get either one of us fired up with that one. But And pitch is outside, 2-1. Consistency for the home plate umpire. How important is that for a pitcher? If you call some pitches balls, some pitches strikes, could end up being a walk. I think they start adding up if you're not consistent with it.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I was a catcher, and it's okay at this level because these guys aren't professionals.
Right.
And you got to understand they're not professionals. But it's okay to be maybe a little inconsistent as far as you're off the plate. But as long as you stay consistently inconsistent, so now I can make an adjustment to what you're doing. If you're calling it low, call it low all day long both ways, and we're okay.
Exactly. And there is strike three. Campbell, he's wheeling and dealing right now. What do you like what you see from the sophomore right now so far, Matt?
Campbell Hudson he's a competitor. He's got a fire in him. He's a good athlete. He's not going to shy away from this moment. It's not like, hey, now we got to go to a sophomore. And he's a young sophomore, too, age-wise. He could probably really be in the freshman class, honestly. Wow. But he's not the guy you're going to put out there and say, well, we're worried that the moment's too big. I don't think that's going to happen with Hudson. I feel that he's got that killer instinct in him, and he's going to feed off of this environment and this moment and really bear down and give us his best.
What I love, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment, that one's hit back to make it 1-1. With these Glenwood pitchers, what I saw from Sykes and McCrane when they get off the mound, that emotion, that raw, that passion. I saw it from Camden when he made a couple good plays. I'm seeing it from Campbell there in that first inning. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that in the game of baseball. Now, you want it to be controlled emotion, but I love how Coach Fanning lets his team be fiery, and he actually encourages it. And I know you appreciate that, too, as a former athlete.
Yeah, when you show emotion and you're pumping up your own team, we don't ever want to say a word or do anything toward the other team. But as long as we got that emotion toward our own dugout, then, yeah, I love that.
His 1-2 count is high to make it 2-2. Up the bat, by the way, is Pelzer Reeves. He was the backup quarterback that ended up starting for the Lee Scott all the way to the state championship game here in football, and he's been a pretty good second baseman for the Lee Scott Warriors.
That's three.
Oh.
Now that was a called striker. That's where we go. You got to be
consistently inconsistent.
Yeah,
and when you mean by that, Matt, is that even if it is off the plate and may be a ball, if you call that a strike for every single time it's thrown in that position, no one has a problem. It's that when it's a ball sometimes, when it's a strike sometimes, when it can cause problems. And look, there's a one-out walk, and Lawrence is going to have to hurry and get the ball because look how far the backstop is. You think that's a bit of an issue, too, playing on a college-level field like this and having the backstop not be as close as it is during the regular season?
Yeah, it's certainly a different environment as far as foul territory here. Really, at Glenwood, it's super close compared to this. So you got a lot of foul room back there, which can hurt you, but it can also help. Yesterday Cal was able to, or Wednesday, he was able to catch a pop up here behind the plate because we had the extra room.
Well, a couple times McCrane and a couple Lee Scott guys able to make Lee Scott first baseman Jackson was able to make plays in foul territory because of how much room they have over here. I mean, what are we talking? Maybe 20, 25 feet all the way, and that's not even to the warning track, the track that's around the field as well. Yeah. So plenty of room to be able to make plays, which can be a positive and a negative for a defense. One out here to Garrett West, the leadoff hitter. He was the game one pitcher. He actually was going inning for inning with McCrane there in that first game. It was 1-0 all the way to the top of the sixth. He did give up the runs. He got pulled in the bottom of the sixth when Glenwood ended up scoring 3 to win that one 4-1. But I was impressed what I saw from him. I've really been impressed from both teams, from their pitching staffs. And there is strike one to make it 1-1. And I know both. For one, Glenwood doesn't want Lee Scott walking away with a football, basketball, and baseball state championship to end their reign in the AISA. And Glenwood trying to get number 10 for Coach Fanning. So both teams have motivation for this year. And look at that. We got him in what a pickoff move from Campbell.
Chase him down, Jackson. Yeah, he's not going to outrun Jackson.
How about that pickoff move there?
Nice
We saw that from McCrane, Sykes. We got some decent pickoff moves for the pitchers from Glenwood.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there's a mistake by Lee Scott, a left-handed pitcher. If he comes up with his front leg, you got to make him break the plane of the rubber before you can just take off. He almost left on first move right there, and that's just a mistake by really a consistent kid. I mean, Pelzer is not – he's not the greatest athlete. He doesn't wow you with anything, but he's so consistent with his play on the football field and the baseball field. It's uncharacteristic for that kid to make a mistake like that.
And me and Tyler Redmond of WRBL, shout out to him for coming up here and doing the games with me on Wednesday. We talked about in that game, too, the reason Lee Scott won was because of great base running execution they had in several instances. And right there was a mistake and may have cost them here with 2 strikes, 2 balls, and 2 outs here.
Deuce is wild now.
You like that, don't you?
Well, it's Ben Kennan. If he's listening, that's for you, Ben. The Deuces are wild, 2-2-2.
Timeout.
See, this is something that now this is the first time Lee Scott's done it today, but even
they did that a
last
lot.
year, this year, this is something. If the pitcher even thinks about taking longer than they like, they're going to call timeout in a hurry.
So that's a coaching strategy.
That's a coaching strategy
Gotcha.
to try to. We're going to dictate. I even heard the third base coach say it yesterday to his players: is we're going to control the pace of play. We're going to dictate the pace of play in this game, and something that you hear that a lot in football and basketball.
Right.
It's really the first time I've seen that strategy taken on the baseball field, though. We're going to control the pace. Because baseball's not really a game of pace. You know what I'm saying?
This is inside knowledge. There's a 2-2 pitch, and look at the
Nice
play.
stab by Hudson.
And Campbell gets out at number 3. So we got great insight from Matthew White, even better play from Glenwood. And we got a great broadcast here. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd. Glenwood leading 2-0 here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
That's a fantastic play.
We love being able to go to the different high school, colleges, middle schools to live broadcast sporting events around the area. Georgia Alabama Sports Live appreciates all the fan support, but without a presenting sponsor like Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC in Opelika, none of this would be possible. So we want to say thank you so much. Go to glennsmith.com. That is right, glennsmith.com. See all the inventory and see why people always say, you're ready to smile. Thanks, everyone, and thank you to Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC for being our presenting sponsor. Georgia Alabama Sports Live will be on the road May 15 as we do our show live from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Join Richard Holdridge and myself as we talk about the amazing finish to our high school baseball teams in the area, NBA playoffs, the Columbus Lions, Atlanta Braves, and so much more with our special guests. Be sure to come out and watch us live May 15 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, and get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone. Matthew White, Thrift Behringer, Carter Judah, who's up right now. He had a walk there back in the 1st inning, and he's going to hit that one right to Pelzer Reeves for out number 1. So we were talking about this off air about the game, the pace of the game, and that is a big thing for Coach Cook and the Lee Scott Warriors. It's not just, you know, the batters calling timeout. He'll even go out there and call time multiple times, and there's going to be strike 1 to Levi Pender. Do you think how much do you think that has an effect on that last game and that game 2?
Well, you know something. Even this is something I haven't seen much. Yesterday, he's the head coach. He stays in the dugout. He doesn't coach a base. But yesterday, he even called timeout, came out of the dugout to talk to one of his batters, and that's kind of rare.
Yeah.
I mean, typically a third base coach will come down and do that.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of what he saw as he wanted to kind of control the pace right there, maybe knock us off the momentum we had rolling. You know, the pitcher getting a groove sometimes.
Right.
You want to kill that. And so, you know, he'll come out of the dugout and have a meeting. And I don't know how it affected the boys, but I know it affected the fans in the stands. They were losing it every time he called timeout to have a meeting.
And you got to think, too, especially in baseball, you can hear almost everything. So if the kids are hearing it, they're probably thinking in their head, this is frustrating. Look at him. Here he comes again. And and you're right, it's a psychological game in the game of baseball, and he gets hit in the arm. We're getting at, what, 6, 7? It's getting close to double digits. I know it's not there yet, but the amount of times Glenwood Gators have been hit compared to Lee Scott Warriors being hit. I don't even think one Lee Scott Warriors been hit in these 3 games here. Do you remember? It may be one.
Yeah. Now, you see that situation there, and this is something that I always taught Camden and my kids as I was coaching them. If you got 2 strikes and he's going to hit you with a pitch, we got to wear that pitch. We got to get out of that bad count. You know, when you had a 2-2 count and Pender got out of that situation getting hit, almost hit Eli with that pitch. Back-to-back pitches.
I think he did get hit. And you remember what happened in that game 1 or game 2? One of the Glenwood hitters, I forgot which one, he didn't pull the back, but he did get hit, and Carter Judah, and they gave him the base. It didn't seem like he's giving him the base here. So what is the ruling on that?
So we saw that happen last season against Lee Scott in the playoffs. Carter squared to bunt, and the ball came straight into the batter's box to hit him. He really didn't have an opportunity to do anything but kind of defend himself.
Right.
And I think that's why they allowed him to have first instead of saying that he offered at the pitch.
And he almost he did get hit there, and he pulled away. So back-to-back hits batsmen for the Gators. And now we got first and second, only 1 out. And here comes the left-handed Mr. Wilkinson, who I incorrectly said that was his first time up at bat. I think we all said that, all 3 broadcasts. He has been used a lot.
Has not played a ton in varsity. You see here, this is another opportunity that Coach Cook's going to come out and.
But how many times are you allowed to do that in an inning?
You know, I don't know if there's a rule as far as talking to an umpire.
But to a player,
to a pitcher, you can go to your pitcher in high school still twice in an inning. The second time you go in an inning, you have to take him out.
Okay.
Or you get 3 visits total. You know what I'm saying? But he's hoping there that we're going to. See, he's not going to get that call, and he knows he's not going to get that call. But to go out there and talk about it, now he's controlling the game. He's getting our side a little bit irritated, and that's his game plan. It works well for him.
Yeah. He knew that was an obvious hit. He pulled his bat back, but just wanted to talk. How about this defensive? And look, there's another bad.
Get up and run.
And he's going to take off and run.
Now, though.
Pender, is he going to get down? He is. But that's the 3rd time a throwing error. So you talk about that pickoff move. Maybe he needs to start focusing on the batter here. That's cost him.
See, this is a pickoff move, and I could be wrong with my ruling. Now, you were an umpire.
I was, and that's how we know each other.
As this shortstop cuts in front of that runner, in my opinion, our runner should take off to third and run into it, and it's an interference, and you get a free base.
I completely agree, and we'll talk about that defense there in a minute. Have you ever seen that before?
I've seen it a couple of times. I've never seen it really be a successful. Truly, they're doing that as far as a bunt coverage and trying to sneak in behind the guy. But now you got him, second and third. Andrew's up. He's had a hit his first at bat, and another opportunity for Glenwood now to pad this lead. Infield in for Lee Scott, going to try to cut the runner down at home.
And that one's going to be fouled back to make it 2-1. And what we were just talking about, guys, or ladies and gentlemen that are watching the broadcast, and we appreciate it. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. The shortstop will go behind the lead runner at second base and cut in front of him the run to third to cover the third base bag for a bunt. And is that one going to get down?
Be foul.
But it is going to be foul. That was going to be a tough play because everybody's in, as you talked about, on the grass. Do you like that for second and third for all of them to be up? Because it's not a forced play now at home.
Well, I'm going to tell you now, Lee Scott's putting a premium on runs at this point. And yesterday you saw there was a premium on runs.
Yep.
I mean, what Lee Scott scored 5 runs in that second game. So they know that every run is super important, and they don't want us to have another one. I mean, that's it. They want to hold us at 2.
So Sykes cannot be used at all, correct?
Sykes cannot be used. Mason cannot pitch today.
They only get 120 per week. And
There's
that one's a base hit. How about that from Wilkinson? 1 run will score. Coach Fanning's going to wave him around. He's going to come in easily. And how about that hit from Wilkinson? Come on, Matt.
Well, when you start talking about Coach Fanning, I know he's probably in at least one Hall of Fame already. He's going to be in multiple Hall of Fame.
Should be in the Chattahoochee Valley Hall of Fame soon.
You're talking about him trying to win a 10th championship today. This is why he's such a great coach. This is a kid in Andrew Wilkinson. He's a sophomore. He's pinch hit a couple of times this season, and Coach Fanning puts him in the biggest moment of his baseball life. and he's produced with 2 base hits today, 2 RBIs right there, and we're up 4-0.
How about that big time hit? And that is a coach. When a coach believes in you, it can give you that confidence that you have been looking for. And Wilkinson's got confidence now. Gators lead 4-0. We're having a pitching change. We'll be back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live will be on the road May 15 as we do our show live from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Join Richard Holdridge and myself as we talk about the amazing finish to our high school baseball teams in the area, NBA playoffs, the Columbus Lions, Atlanta Braves, and so much more with our special guests. Be sure to come out and watch us live May 15 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, and get ready to smile.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
All right, guys, welcome back here. Historic Patterson Field, Montgomery, Alabama. Here we are, bottom of the 3rd inning. Glenwood's kind of broke through here with a 2 RBI single by Andrew Wilkinson. Lee Scott now changing pitchers as Camden White drops a bunt down the first baseline beautifully. They'll tag him out for out number 1 as we'll move the runner over to second base. Braden Martin is in now, number 20 for Lee Scott, pitching, left-hander. Had to be out number 2 of the inning, I'm sorry. That will get Jackson Griggs, the senior shortstop, to the plate here.
Number 1, Jackson Griggs.
Me and Thrift were talking as he stepped out for just a moment. We were talking in between innings about Coach Fanning being a fantastic head coach, making a great decision today, putting Andrew Wilkinson into the lineup as the DH. He's 2 for 2 today, got 2 RBI now, as that first pitch is high and away to Jackson Griggs.
Lee Scott wants to keep it close. It's 4-0 right now here in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 pitch.
That pitch there will catch the outside corner.
1-1.
Even up the count at 1-1. Logan Henderson, the second baseman on deck for the Gators. Martin will take a look back at second base there. They have not been successful today, at least Jack McKay wasn't in pickoff attempts. Had some wild throws there, helped the Gators out. This pitch way outside, and Jackson will fan at it for strike 2. It's 1-2 pitch fouled away by Jackson. He's battling here today on a beautiful day. Yesterday was rained out, terrible weather yesterday. But I'm gonna tell you, this Patterson field crew did a great job keeping this field dry through all that rain. It's a really nice day today to play a championship baseball game. 1-2 delivery here. Slapped into right field by Jackson Griggs. That's a base hit. Here come Wilkinson coming home. Here's the throw, going to get cut off, and he will score. And it's 5-0 now, Gators. And here's something, you know, when you come up with a ball from the outfield and you're looking to throw a runner out at home, we can't cut that ball. That was, I don't know if he'd have had him anyway. I think that ball was going to be late to the plate. but any chance of throwing a runner out right there, you got to let that ball ride. Sam Jackson, first baseman from Lee Scott, cut that ball off. Jackson Griggs breaking through now. Been struggling a little bit at the plate here this championship series, but a base hit and an RBI puts us up 5-0. So we get Logan Henderson now, the junior second baseman. Will stand in now, lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch to him, breaking ball right down the middle for strike one. Mason McCrane on deck for the Gators. Here's the pitch. Kind of sawed Logan off there, hit a little looper out there to third base. Easy catch for him. But after 3 innings, the Gators are up 5-0, and we'll be back shortly to Montgomery.
Georgia-Alabama Sports Live will be on the road May 15 as we do our show live from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Join Richard Holdridge and myself as we talk about the amazing finish to our high school baseball teams in the area, NBA playoffs, the Columbus Lions, Atlanta Braves, and so much more with our special guests. Be sure to come out and watch us live May 15 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, and get ready to smile.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone. Ethan Hardy's up to bat, and Matt, we scored 3 runs there. How about the Glenwood Bats, led by Wilkinson with that 1-out single that scored 2 runs, and now Glenwood leads 5-0. You know Campbell's got to feel good about that.
Feeling good, got a nice lead to work with here. High pop up here on the infield. That's a major leaguer. Who's going to get it? Nice job, Carter Judah coming in on third base to squeeze that in the sunlight.
I mean, that people think it's routine just because it barely goes, 40, 50 feet.
Yeah.
But that high with the sun directly above your head, it don't matter if you got sunglasses on or eye black, that's still going to be a tough catch, Matt.
Yeah, real high bluebird day today. You know, yesterday or Wednesday, I keep saying yesterday, but it
felt like yesterday.
It was Wednesday.
Right.
You notice there was a ball hit to Camden in center field, and he put his hands out to the side like, where's it at? And I joked with him that he saw it the whole time and was just goofing off. And
right.
He said, why would I goof off in a state championship game? Well, there's a giant TV tower right behind the grandstands for Alabama Public Television.
Yep.
And he said that ball went straight up that tower, and he couldn't see it. And it took until it almost hit him in the face before he ever picked it back up, you know.
Well, thankfully.
So, you know, you got a new ballpark. Some of these guys are familiar with this park. They
Right.
come over here and play. But, I mean, you get these new surroundings.
Yep.
This is the first time this season either one of these two teams have probably played with a big set of grandstands you're seeing the ball come off of and stuff.
And I tell you, it's pretty cool that, you know, Camden's a great athlete, because I would willing to bet 75, 80% of us normal people that are out there trying to catch a baseball like that, it's leaving a huge knot on our head.
Oh, yes. Especially when you lose it for a while and you got to try to find it again.
There is going to be a 1-out walk, and that is going to bring Sam Jackson,
That was Sam
first
Jackson
baseman
that batted,
Yep.
yeah.
And now up to bat is Easton Gregory, excuse me, not Easton Gregory, J.D. Burns. I didn't see the 1 in front of the 2, but J.D. Burns, who got out last time, 0 for 1 on the day.
I got to tell you, Thrift, you never want to walk a batter, put somebody on. But if you are in this situation, Sam Jackson's the guy. He's Lee Scott's best hitter by far. He's the guy that was able to, you know, fight off that pitch in extra innings that
saved the game.
You could probably rule it as a hit.
Yeah.
Honestly, that scored the 2 runs to win the game. That was Sam that was at the plate then, so not really a terrible free pass right there.
No, and that one's going to be put down beautifully. Oh, and he's not able to collect it, and there's going to be a J.D. Burns getting on, and now you're seeing the student section and the fan base of Lee Scott. They're starting to make some noise now. First and second. I guess Campbell just really took his eye off the ball there and then just lost focus for a minute.
Yeah, probably was trying to turn and throw right before he picked it up. And, you know, that is the case where with less than 2 outs, you offer that free pass. You open the door for Lee Scott to bunt the baseball, put a little pressure on your defense. You know, now they got to get out in scoring position here. Maybe the first time they had one out there at scoring position today.
And see, what is Campbell going to do? Is he going to be able to adjust to now having runners in scoring position for the first time all game, and starts with a strike 1. Number 15, Jake Cummings, who was one of the pitchers there. And
game 2 starter for Lee Scott.
And actually, again, did a very good job. They used a lot of pitching there in game 2, Lee Scott did. And they battled back, and I'll tell you, Lee Scott was down 1-0 against Clark Prep and won the next 2. Said they know how to make a comeback. They've lived like this pretty much all year long. So this was nothing new for them to make an incredible comeback there in game 2 to force a game 3. But 5-0, and especially the way Campbell had been pitching up until this point, it looked like it could be a tough lead to come back on. But we're going to have to see what Campbell can do. That was going to hit right to Levi Pender. Still able to grab it and get the out. That's what matters, because now that makes out number 2. Good job by Campbell forcing a play and Pender making it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's obviously you get them runners on first and second with 1 out, but the 5-run lead gives you a little bit more confidence. You don't get quite as tight in that situation. Still a really good hitter here, the catcher for Lee Scott. I mean, he's got an opportunity to chip into this Glenwood lead and kind of get them some momentum rolling here.
And just like what Glenwood did in there in game 2, 1 run at a time. Not trying to you don't have to get all 3 runs in that next inning when you're down 3-0, and they eventually came back. And if Lee Scott could get 1 or 2 here, 1 or 2 there, here the next couple innings, get good pitching, they could be right back in it. You're right, Matt. 2 outs here, and it would be a beautiful set for him to try to get 2 runs. Jackson and Burns on second and third with 2 outs. Lane Edens, the catcher, up to bat now for the Warriors. And that one's going to be inside for strike 1. Nice pitch and good call from the umpire there to make it 1-1.
I got to tell you, Thrift, this is something that me and my wife talked about after Wednesday's game, and Camden even mentioned it. The Lee Scott players are not afraid to talk to the umpires, and Coach Fanning would strangle somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be
no
bad
chance.
news if you even thought about breathing. Tag him out, Carter. So, you know, that's a situation there. That ball hit to him. That's a bad base running play by that runner at second base. He was about to run into a tag that could have possibly even cost him the run here at the plate.
Yep.
And Carter was his mind was set on trying to throw across that he wasn't even thinking that the guy was coming. He could have picked it up easy and tagged him out.
Yeah, that was a bad base running mistake, and that bad break for the Gators there. Good job by Judah keeping it in front of him. But now 2 outs, runners on the corners. Lee Scott does chip in with 1 run now. And up to bat is number 16, Smith Harkins.
Yeah, I mean, good news is right now still for Hudson is nothing's been hit hard, you know. I mean, they haven't barreled anything up on him yet. So you still got that bit of confidence going. It's not like they're really teeing off on you.
Trying to put the bunt down. Lawrence not even thinking about throwing it. So now there is second and third, and that's going to be a steal for Smith Harkins, the center fielder. 1 ball, no strikes, and that one's going to be in there for a strike. The umpire just likes delaying. We can't hear him in here because we're in the air-conditioned press box, and shout out to all the people burning up out there. But we're getting that delayed reaction. It looked like a strike. Definitely wanted to say it's a strike, but you never know until you see that arm going to our right. 1-1, the count to make it 1-2. Oh, no, 2-1.
Yeah, it was close. Must have been just a little lower.
Like the same position, just more down the plate. But there, he's going to say it was lower, Matt, to make it 2-1 with 2 outs here. There's my teaching alarm clock. Got to make sure those are off, Matt. Got my broadcaster hat on right now. 2-1 count, make it 3-1. How long before Coach Fanning wants to go out there? Do you think he needs to talk to Campbell, or do you think it's just let him fill it out himself with a 5-1 lead?
Yeah, I would think that maybe if you offered a free pass here, you might see Coach Fanning. He's not a coach that will go talk to his pitcher a lot. He kind of looks at him and say, "Hey, man up and get out of this. You know what to do."
Yeah.
I don't have to come out there and tell you.
3-1 count, Campbell, and yep, that is going to be a strike to make it full. I think that putting the bat out like that from Harkins is just a mindset thing. I don't think he's actually trying to put a bunt down.
Now, now you're in a 3-2 count, and this is just who's the bigger man right here. Is it just going to be Hudson, or is it going to be the batter? You got to man up. You got to throw a competitive pitch right here and see what happens.
All the runners are going, no, and that one's going to be hit back. Good pitch, but nice job by Harkins staying alive there, Matt, to keep it at 3-2.
That's right. You got to come at him now. You don't want to offer a free pass. Make him hit the baseball here. Make him make a play.
Full count from Campbell. 2 outs. Can he get out of the jam, only giving up 1 run? Pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss.
Throw him out.
And Lawrence is just going to make the throw. And how about Campbell getting out of the jam, only giving up 1 run? The sophomore with the kahunas. And we move on to the bottom of the 4th. Gators lead 5-1 here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox. Discounted up to $6,500 off. Chevy's full-size pickup truck, the powerful Chevy Silverado, is up to $12,000 off. And big Chevy Silverado 2500 HDs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall. Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone. Thrift Behringer here with Matthew White.
Right fielder, number 12, Mason McCrane.
As the Gators lead 5-1, and Mason McCrane, one of the best bats and probably the best player in the AISA this year, who got that big hit there back in the top of the 2nd, scored 2 runs. I know he's been a privilege for you to watch, and by the way, he's only a junior, so him, Sykes, these guys are coming back for another year. I know Coach Fanning's excited about that.
Yeah, you think about it, we've only got like 6 seniors. Only you got Eli, Jackson, and Camden. They're the only seniors that start.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of this lineup coming back next year.
You got a sophomore on the mound. You got a sophomore at 3rd base.
Sophomore catching.
And Kyle Lawrence.
Yep.
Future definitely is bright here for the Gators. But, you know, the old adage is for all those great teams, Alabama teams, the USCs back in the early 2000s, they don't rebuild, they reload, and that's Coach Fanning every year. And he's take that one off the back. Man, that's 3 hits batsmen in this game. I think it was 5 last game, a 1 or 2 in game 1. We're well at double digits or over. I mean,
Right.
I know they're not purposely trying to do that, but it
No,
seems like
it's-
just a consistent thing.
You certainly, you don't, in this situation, even with it being Mason, you don't want to put the leadoff guy on for Glenwood.
Never.
You're already down 5-1. You're playing right into Coach Fanning's hands. We're a small ball team. We love to bunt runners over, and you give us a perfect opportunity to do it here.
First is McCrane. They were squaring with Campbell at the plate. He takes for ball 1 though. Mention the wind. It has picked up some. Squaring. Taking.
And, yep, that one's going to be high to make it 2-0 now. So nice job by Campbell with no outs here and a leadoff in McCrane. They try to pick-off move with him. It was quick there at the left-handed.
It's close. You know, you talk about a little bit about this team. We talk about the youth as far as you got a lot of young kids on this team, only 1 returning starter. You know, this team started the season 0-4 Thrift, and I don't know when the last time you heard of a Glenwood team
Come on, man.
starting 0-4.
It's a pretty good bunt, moves a runner over, but you're right. Started
Nice
0-4.
0-4, we lost to Brookstone, Heritage.
Yep.
And then we dropped a doubleheader at First Presbyterian out of Macon. And we played particularly
And they're
poor.
probably going to go to the state championship,
Yeah.
by the way, in the GIAA.
We played particularly poor that day. And Coach Fanning told this team after that game, he goes, guys, we got a decision to make on what we're going to be. You potentially have the opportunity to be the worst team Glenwood's ever had. And 0-4 start to now, we're sitting at what, about 36-8.
Yeah.
So they went about 36-4 from that moment on. They really
Come on, man.
kind of took a look in the mirror and said, you know, what kind of legacy we want to leave on this program. And now we're here on the final day of baseball trying to win a championship.
I thought with Coach Fanning, you know, before these games, they had won 34 of their last 37. That's pretty incredible, and they're doing it against some really good teams. It's not just all AISA opponents. They're playing public schools in the Georgia sector. I mean, never mind, they can't play public schools. Next year they will.
You're stepping over and you're playing some really quality opponents in the Georgia side.
Yes.
Brookstone is a legit team. First Presbyterian, they are a good ball team.
Pacelli is a good ball
Yes.
team. You beat them this year. Calvary.
Pacelli was actually our first win, and I actually
Yeah.
told Coach Thomas after the game, I said, I really appreciate you letting us have one, kind of hopefully get us rolling here.
And by the
know?
way, Coach Thomas, I think he was one of the coaches of the year this year. What he did with that Pacelli team compared to other people's roster to go to the Elite Eight, to be a top 3 team in the GIAA, that's credit to him. Credit to Carson Bowers, an alumni of the Glenwood Gators, who's on that staff over there. But you also beat Calvary, who's playing in a state championship tonight, and this team has just has been peaking at the right time, and there is a strike 3 for Carter Judah. So now 2 outs, and McCrane still left at second. So hopefully Levi Pender, who leads the team in RBIs or did coming into this series. McCrane may have caught him now, but Pender is one of the best bats on the team. Been kind of quiet here in this series, but hopefully he can come up big here, Matt.
Yeah.
And that one's
This
hit.
could be trouble.
Is he going to be able to make the play all across his body?
Oh, yeah, good pick by Sam Jackson at first.
That's just a great play by the first baseman. Nice throw by the shortstop. No runners score. McCrane does get on after being hit, but we're going to head now to the top of the 5th. Gators up 5-1. They are now 9 outs away from being state champions. We'll be back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live will be on the road May 15 as we do our show live from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Join Richard Holdridge and myself as we talk about the amazing finish to our high school baseball teams in the area, NBA playoffs, the Columbus Lions, Atlanta Braves, and so much more with our special guests. Be sure to come out and watch us live May 15 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, and get ready to smile.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox, discounted up to $6,500 off. Chevy's full-size pickup truck, the powerful Chevy Silverado, is up to $12,000 off. And big Chevy Silverado 2500 HDs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall. Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
It's 5-1, Glenwood with the lead. But one thing you know about this Lee Scott team is they never go away, and do not expect them to go away quietly either. It's 5-1, top of the fifth. Third baseman Butler's up now, who's 0 for 1 on the day, and Campbell, who has done a pretty decent job here, I would say, has not given up a hit, has given up 1 run unearned. Glenwood has 2 errors.
Yeah, this is a spot where, and we missed right there just a little low and away, but this is a spot where we've got to work ahead.
Yep.
We want to stay on top of these hitters.
Campbell got out of a jam last inning and now has a 2-0 count to the leadoff hitter, Butler. Coming up today, Calvary hosting, or not hosting, excuse me. They'll be live on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, but they're taking on their rival, Kings Academy. These two teams have faced off, Matt, the last 3 GAP state championship. Calvary's won both of them. Calvary's not lost a GAPS playoff game in 6 years. They've got a 31-game winning streak. So Kings Academy, I know that atmosphere is about to be hostile. They're hosting, and we're going to have that all on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. But first, we got here at Glenwood as the Gators up 5-1, and now a 3-0 count. Campbell, who these last couple innings, not been staying ahead of the count like he did the first 2 or 3.
Yeah, this is probably this is not what you wanted to have when you come out here, and this inning is a 3-0 count to the leadoff guy. Lee Scott's got a pinch hitter on deck there for Pelzer Reeves. At least showing they may put him out there. We'll offer a free pass to start this inning.
And there's a leadoff walk.
This is number 23 coming out to pinch hit, it appears, if you've got him on your roster.
I do, and that is Ty Jones.
Coach Fanning going to take an opportunity to go out and talk to Hudson here.
You talk about the depth, Matt, of the Gators in their pitching depth and what he can use. How long of a leash do you leave with Campbell with a 5-1 lead? Are we talking another run, 2 runs?
I got to tell you, at this point in time, I think Hudson's our guy. I think it's going to take more than just 1 or 2. I mean, he's really going to have to start pitching poorly. I'm curious of where, although we've only used truly 2 pitchers. Levi could pitch again today. I know Carter Judah's thrown this year. I'm curious who we would go to after Hudson. Not that I'm worried who we would go to, just interested in which way Coach Fanning would take it. But I really think Hudson, I mean, it's going to have to probably go to even a tie game before we decide to switch him. Unless he just loses it and starts hitting batters and things like that.
Well, we don't want that, and I'm just going to stop and shut up and not manifest anything, and we're just going to say let's go Hudson as the Gators lead 5-1. And that one is going to be in for a strike. Peyton, the outside corners pinch hitter, as we just talked about a minute ago. Matt, is Ty Jones, and he's coming up with no outs, leadoff walk. That was to Butler, who is on first base. Top of the lineup after Ty Jones is Garrett West, who's due for another pickoff move that is not effective this time, but it has worked once. Way back, I think, in the 2nd inning, Campbell with an excellent pickoff move. He got the runner in a rundown and got him out. Guess he doesn't like Butler getting a lead.
You see, that's the case where I always hold my breath on pickoff moves.
It makes you nervous, doesn't it?
I mean, we come close to maybe throwing that ball down the right field line there and really opening the door for Lee Scott. in this situation, if they want to bunt this guy over, throw a pitch in the zone, let him bunt him over.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll pop that bunt up or bunt it too hard back to you, and we can go to second with it.
2-1 the count now to Ty Jones, Thrift Behringer. Matthew White, presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Also thank you to Sports Vision's 1-1 pitch. Make it 2-1. You can listen to Sports Vision's radio show. We had one yesterday. Had some incredible guests on the Sports Vision's radio show, as we always do. So make sure to go to sportsvision.tv/radio/magazine on Facebook. And 92.1 Smooth R&B is your radio FM dial every Monday and Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Thank you to Double Coverage. And also thank you to Masterwall, Grant Smithwick, Steve Smithwick, the Smithwicks from Calvary. As there's going to be another low pitch to make it 3-1 now. But Masterwall, for all your interior and exterior wall needs, give them a call. They've been a supporter since we started football. I didn't even really have to ask. They just said, we want to support what you do, so we always going to be appreciative to those guys. Thank you to Masterwall. 3-1 count, no outs. There's ball 4. And now there's first and second, no outs, Matt. And we've got the leadoff hitter, Garrett West, coming up now.
Yeah, Lee Scott in a good position here. This is the first little bit of concern you may see for Hudson, is really not any command here so far in this inning.
8 balls and 1 strike to the 2 batters he has faced here in the top of the 5th inning.
Again, you can probably expect here, even with the leadoff guy, they're looking to bunt the baseball right here, and I would throw a fastball. I'd give it to him right down the middle, see if he wants to bunt.
Let your defense.
Let the defense make a play, hopefully. They're going to let him swing at it.
And another off-speed pitch that it's going to be 2 inside and low for ball 1. Campbell has thrown 4 innings of no-hit baseball and has given up 1 run. But Scott first and second here. And that one's hit straight up in the air. Camden White's going to get over, trying to find it in the sun. I know it's got to be hard, and Butler thought about tagging, but he knew better than to run on number 8's arm. And now that is out number 1. Nice job letting him hit it in play, relying on your defense. Isn't that right?
Get it in play. We got to pound the zone, and you got a 4-run lead here. Still, even with 2 on and 1 out. I mean, we got to throw strikes. You know, Sandy Koufax said he become a great pitcher when he stopped trying to make them miss it and started trying to make them hit it. And that's what Hudson's got to do here. We got to throw strikes. Let them hit the baseball. We'll make a play.
Ethan Hardy's up now. He's 0 for 2. Again, runners on first and second. Now 1 out for Campbell. And they're thinking about bunting, and he didn't pull it back, and that's a strike either. Oh, he called it a ball? I thought that was going to be a strike even if he pulled it back. Wow.
So Cal wants to check with first. Umpire's finally going to say, and he's even going to say safe. All right. Questionable.
1-0 the count. Campbell and Hardy.
I'm not sure it wasn't a strike either way.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I
thought it was a strike regardless if he got it back, and now that one's going to be strike. And Campbell, he loves painting that outside corner, especially for a right-handed batter. And now it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Hardy, who would love nothing more than here an extra base hit to bring some runs in for Lee Scott. He's going to try to put the bunt down, and that one goes straight back. And now you got 2 strikes, so that helps Campbell a lot, doesn't it, Matt?
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Now you know he's not going to bunt.
Well, you know, Lee Scott may not bunt. I'm going to tell you now, if this was Glenwood, Coach Fanning, you're bunting.
I don't care if you got 2 strikes. You should have put it down the first time.
That's right. You should have already got the ball down. You're bunting on 2 strikes also now. I'm going to tell you, Hudson, after the first 2 free passes there, these last 2 batters, he's really honed it back in. He's got the ball in the zone again, looking a lot better.
I like that from the sophomore. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Campbell. And that one's going to be nice job by Hardy staying alive.
He's fighting that one off. That's a good breaking ball. Got in there on his knees, and he was able to get just enough to foul it off.
It'd be nice to get Hardy out here because you know who's coming up next. Probably the best bat for Lee Scott in this series, which is Sam Jackson. And you don't want him coming up with runners in scoring position, only 1 out, bases loaded, whatever it may be. So big at bat here Pitch, and that one's fouled back, and another good pitch from Campbell, but another nice job by Hardy staying alive.
Yeah, Hardy's having a really good at-bat right here when you know that pitcher with Hudson kind of starting to waver just a little bit to start this inning, that you can keep this at-bat going, just fouling balls off. It's just annoying to a pitcher when you make a really good pitch,
right,
and he gets a piece of it and fouls it off.
I know that's got to be frustrating. Can Campbell get him out? And that one's going to be hit. Griggs, what a play from Griggs. Can he get the throw to first? No. He's going to pull Pender off the bag. And nice job being able to grab it, because if not, that would have been a run. But that's a tough play. Should Griggs try to go to second there, or did he didn't have enough time?
I don't think he's going to have enough time to go anywhere but all the way across to first. That's just a really good – that ball was just placed in the perfect spot right there.
Now Sam Jackson's coming up. He's the only run that has scored for Lee Scott. He got on last time, and now he's up in a big-time position with the bases loaded and one out. And Lawrence wants to go talk it over with his teammate. Pender tried to stretch as far as he could, but that was going to be a tough. He needed to catch the ball more than just trying to get the out at that point.
Yeah, definitely had to just had to come off the base and catch that ball. You know, big situation here. Another one of those, as we talked about when McCrane came up with the bases loaded. This is a momentum situation.
Sam Jackson. And now swing and a miss. How about that off-speed pitch? Had Jackson guessing there.
Yeah, you can certainly see here the Lee Scott student section up. They're filling it this inning. I see Noah Thomason going down now to the bullpen. Maybe get loose a little bit. He's come in relief a few times this year for the Gators.
And that one's going to be a blooper. Is it going to get down? No. Nice job. And let me not forget who's playing right field right now. And that's Mason McCrane. He's not making those mistakes.
No, Mason's got too long of a stride to miss a ball hit like that.
It looked like it was going to be a tough catch, but I forgot it's Mason McCrane. It's two long strides, and he's already in the infield. Yeah. But how about that job by Campbell getting the out from a big-time hitter in Sam Jackson?
That's a big out right there for the Gators with 2 outs now. I mean, we're not out of the woods, because anything that finds green grass out there is going to score at least 1, maybe 2. But you feel a little more comfortable now with Sam out of the way.
Up the bat now is J.D. Burns. And there is high for ball 1. Campbell hitting the heart of the Lee Scott lineup right now. And to get out of this jam, not giving up any runs, you're talking about a big-time moment.
Oh, yeah.
And a rational confidence booster that you would want from your sophomore heading into his junior season. This would be it right here. But got to get the out first. 1-0 count, and that one's going to be hit out of play to make it 1-1. Do you think if the runs are in a premium, do you try to squeeze Jackson to try to get a run in right there, or Jackson's too good of an at-bat to even think about doing something like that?
Yeah, no, I think he's way too good of a hitter. You're hoping he's going to hit one out there in the tree somewhere and honestly tie the game up.
Right.
You know, great job throwing what looked like change-ups kind of away from him and got him to just slap one out to Mason.
Glad you made mention. This is the time run at the plate right now, and that makes it 2-1.
Come close to hitting him right there.
No, Campbell and the Gators do not want to give up a run off a hits Batman or a walk.
Right, yeah, you got to come in the zone here. It's a hitter's count right here, 2-1, bases loaded. You're a hitter. You got to be ready to swing the bat right here.
2-1 count. Low again in the dirt. Now it's 3-1, a hitter's count for sure now. And Burns, will he get the green light? Is he going to be told to watch it? What's Campbell going to do now? 3-1, 2 outs, bases loaded, 5-1 Gators. Top of the 5th.
You'd expect Burns to be looking for a nice pitch to hit here on 3-1. Time is gone.
Another time.
Called by the batter. Lee Scott's MO right here. Make the pitcher think about it a little
especially
longer.
In this pressure moment.
Yep.
And, you know, it would eat my craw. It really would. It would make me frustrated if I was a pitcher having to constantly be told timeout in the heat in a moment like this when you're ready to get it done. 3-1 count. And there's ball 4. And now that's going to bring in a run to make it 5-2. And bases are still loaded. Now coming up is Lane Edens, the catcher. Nope. Are they going to bring in a?
Oh, I think it's right ahead of Lane. He's on deck. They are going to get a pinch hitter, I think. Number 3.
So number 3, who is? We don't even have a number 3 on the roster. Barrett Cook. There we go. So Barrett Cook is up to bat in a pinch hitting hit. I mean, at bat for at least Scott Warrior, 5-2. What do you think the teammates? What would you be saying right now if you were Campbell's teammate in a 5-2 bases loaded 2-out game?
Yeah, I think you got to try to say something that'll settle him. You got to reassure him that we just got to throw a strike. Let this guy hit the baseball, and we're going to make a play behind you.
Barrett Cook.
Because really, I mean, even to this point, I mean, the hardest hit ball they've had is the one that was a fly ball to Mason right there.
That's it.
And they're not hitting it hard, so let's just put the ball in the zone and make them hit the baseball.
And throwing strikes like that will hopefully either strike them out or make them put it in play where this Glenwood defense can make some plays. 2 outs, 1 strike now. Pitch on the way is low to make it 1-1. Barrett Cook, the pinch hitter. He's had a couple of bats here in this series. None bigger than this one. 1-1 pitch. In for strike 2, right on the outside corner. I want to say strike, but I didn't want the umpire showing me up, Matt. But when he got that arm pointing, I was like, thank you. 1-2 now. 2 outs. Campbell. Another 1-2 count. Pitch. Low to make it 2-2.
Yeah, he's hoping to get him to chase on that one.
Well, give credit to the Lee Scott batters. They've been patient.
Back to the deuces wild here, Thrift.
We'd love to go wild with this out. Head to the bottom of the 5th. Can Campbell do it? 5-2, bases loaded. And make it full.
You know, I can kind of see here Hudson. He's having a breakdown with his delivery, and it's not necessarily his arm angle and all, but you got to stay consistent with your legs, getting into your legs. Right there, he looks like he's overthrowing, but it's really because he's not driving with his legs. He's throwing that all arm, and he left that high and away. Now we're into a full count with 2 outs here. And this is another situation where, I mean, you got to be the bigger man.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put the ball in there. Very
Let him make a hit.
competitive pitch. This pitch has got to be close enough that he has to swing at it.
Time. Three-two count. Campbell and Cook. Batter of Wills. Who's going to win this one? On the way, and that's going to be low, and that's going to be ball 4. Another walk-in run. And now Lee Scott makes it 5-3.
Yep.
So,
Good hitter here for Lee Scott. Now the catcher coming up with a spot to put Lee Scott in front, really tie the game.
Yeah.
Could probably put him ahead here.
5-3.
Coach Fanning not making a move right now. Going to let Hudson go another one.
Edens is up now. It was another really good bat, as Matt made mention, for the Lee Scott Warriors in a big position. 2 runs have scored. 3 runs total for Lee Scott, and they only have 1 hit on the game.
See there with Hudson on that pitch, that was in the zone. You can see that he had a good leg drive right there. He stayed in his legs, had a good leg drive. He's a lot more consistent, stays in the zone. And typically when you see him, especially missing outside in that other batter's box, is when he's just throwing all arm. Like right there, you see?
Yep.
Just didn't have quite the leg drive on that one.
Counts 1-1 now. Campbell have a little bit of a breakdown here. And Coach Fanning just wants to get one more inning out of him. Just wants to get out of this with still the lead. Lane Edens, a hot bat for Lee Scott, then calls time right there. The mantra of this Lee Scott team. back in the batter's box, and it's 1-1. He was up 1-2 on the previous batter. It's 1-1 now. Campbell, swing and a miss. There's strike two, but we've seen this before. 1-2 now. One and two the count, 2 outs. Campbell pitch high to make it 2-2. Another deuces wild here in this inning. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, but Lee Scott chipped away again there, Matt. It makes it 5-3. This one's presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. We'll be back after this.
Georgia, Alabama Sports Live will be on the road May 15 as we do our show live from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Join Richard Holdridge and myself as we talk about the amazing finish to our high school baseball teams in the area, NBA playoffs, the Columbus Lions, Atlanta Braves, and so much more with our special guests. Be sure to come out and watch us live May 15 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, and get ready to smile.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Eli Bankson up the bat, 5-3 here. I feel like, and I think everyone would agree with me in saying this, Matt, Glenwood could use some insurance now after that last inning, just to give some more confidence to whoever comes out on the mound that this next top half inning.
Yeah, we definitely need to get some base runners here. We'd like to stay in here hitting for a little bit, kind of kill some of that momentum Lee Scott started to build that last inning.
And that one is a hard hit ball to the shortstop. It would gobble it up, and Hardy makes out number 1. And now up the bat. I think he's been maybe the MVP for this game, not the series, but for this game, because of the moment he's in as a DH who didn't get a lot of at-bats this year and came up huge that last time, scoring 2 runs back in the 3rd inning. It's Wilkinson now. 5-3 with 1 out. And that one is going to be, look at the bounce there, and there's another base hit.
3 for 3.
Unbelievable, Matt, from a guy that sophomore that did not get many at-bats, and to come in a winner-take-all with this type of pressure on you, it just, I know that the confidence has got to be going through the roof, and that's because Coach Fanning believed in him.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure he gave him a good confidence boost and pep talk before the game, and now it's a prime position for Camden White if he can get a base hit here with 1 out. Runner on first. Camden watched that one low. Braden Martin is the pitcher for the Lee Scott Warriors. Martin throws a strike there.
Yeah, good pitch there. Come back after one that was low for ball one. Come back with a good breaking ball down the middle. Something I'm sure Camden wasn't really looking for there.
1-1 the count. Make it 2-1. Now to Camden White. Coach Fanning applauding him, telling him to be patient, make this a good at bat.
Yeah, we want to make sure now with a 2-1 count we get a quality pitch to swing at. Don't want to chase anything.
And they're going to get.
That's a little league frame job for that strike.
I was about to say.
Oh, man.
He tried to pull it back fast, but I don't think fast enough. But still got the strike called 2-2, and that one's hit right back to the first baseman. I mean, to the pitcher. That's going to be a base hit, running around second base, heading in is Wilkinson, and how about that? And White's good at the base running, and nice job. That Camden White, who is known for his base running, but how about that hot shot? That was going to be a tough catch. That's a base hit all day long, and then the second baseman's already making his way 2 seconds, so he wasn't able to get to it. That's not an error. That's a base hit, and that's probably the best hit Camden White's had this series. Don't you agree?
Oh, definitely. That's the most solid he's hit a baseball in probably the whole playoffs. I got to be honest with you. I mean, he had a couple of hits there in the first couple series, but definitely as far as this championship series, that's the most solid contact he's had. Lee Scott, coach, going to come out probably. What has he got to say now? I'm wondering if he's going to come talk to his pitcher, just make sure he's okay. I mean, I don't know where that ball hit him, if that was into the glove or into his body. He doesn't act like he's hurt, but it's a good chance to maybe go out and you could really probably have stole a mound visit here by saying, hey, I want to go check on him, make sure he's okay. But they're going to take him out. They're going to change pitchers.
Runners on second and third. Camden White, excellent base running, by the way, to be able to take off there and get that. So it's a single, and then with a run, and then he runs a second. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got a new pitch for Lee Scott. Glenwood making some noise here in the bottom of the fifth. Second and third, one out. They lead 5-3.
Georgia, Alabama Sports Live will be on the road May 15 as we do our show live from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Join Richard Holdridge and myself as we talk about the amazing finish to our high school baseball teams in the area, NBA playoffs, the Columbus Lions, Atlanta Braves, and so much more with our special guests. Be sure to come out and watch us live May 15 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, and get ready to smile.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox. Discounted up to $6,500 off. Chevy's full-size pickup truck, the powerful Chevy Silverado, is up to $12,000 off. And big Chevy Silverado 2500 HDs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall. Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
We are back. Now runners on second and third. You got the whole Lee Scott defense on the grass. The shortstop just got moved to the pitcher, Ethan Hardy, and Jackson Griggs is up to bat.
Yeah, a couple of defensive changes here. Shortstop comes to the mound. Third baseman slid over to shortstop, and they brought in a new third baseman here. Lee Scott back in on the grass, runs a premium. They don't want anybody to score as a base hit.
And that's going to get down. How about that? And look, Camden White is so much farther ahead of Wilkinson. He almost caught him. And they're going to say he's out. They're going to say Jackson Griggs is out at second base. Man, either way, big-time hit from Jackson Griggs for that to get down on the line. 2-run score as Wilkinson and White come in to make it 7-3. But that was a tough call there at second base.
Well, you know, he's safe to start with, but he overslid the bag.
And got off the bag, and that's why he's out.
So he's originally called safe, and then he overslid. The umpire pumped him out. You know, Jackson got up celebrating, thinking he had the double. He does have the RBI single with 2 RBI. He's 3 for 3 today also. He's looking great.
Listen, I don't blame him for celebrating there. I know he was getting excited and stuff, but
Big hit.
huge hit.
Big hit.
Especially what happened last inning. Now you go back up 4 there. Huge one to get it down the line. You had all the infield in on the grass. You hit it right over their head, right in front of the left fielder. And now 2 outs here for Henderson.
Now let's think about it, too. You mentioned earlier we dropped Jackson from the 2nd spot in the lineup way down to about 8th in the lineup today, and you're thinking, well, why would you change something on a championship game?
Exactly.
Well, that's why Coach Fanning is a championship coach, and me and you's up here as talking heads, right? I mean, it's
We're
3 for 3 today. He's got about 3 or 4 RBI on the day.
Yeah.
So, you know, Coach Fanning knows what he's doing. We're just going to let him coach, right?
That's all we're going to do. I would never question that man, and I would hope he would never let me call another game if I ever did. And Henderson strikes out there, but a big-time hit from White that got him in scoring position, and guess who came and cleaned it up? Jackson Griggs.
Couple of seniors making it happen here. Wilkinson, DH coming in, getting his hit. Camden and Jackson back-to-back hits to put us up 7-3 now.
Excellent base running from Camden White, and the Gators lead 7-3. This one presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. We'll be back and into the top of the 6th here on the Winner Take All, Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone. Thrift Barron here with Matthew White. We got to make a correction. It's even more impressive what Andrew Wilkinson's doing because he's only a freshman. And he's coming in the biggest game of the year, delivered 3 for 3. Talk about Sports Vision's player of the game. My vote's right now going to Mr. Wilkinson. He has been incredible. We'll also have the player of the series, who I'm starting to lean towards that guy out in right field. Matt, we can collectively talk about that off the air. But it's 7-3 Gators, big inning there to get 2 runs. And now you got Levi Pender on the mound.
Yeah, Levi coming in to pitch. Here's a bunt. And Carter Judah with a nice play throwing him out. So right here we've made a change now. It's more of a traditional lineup for us. Pender coming to the mound, move Mason back to first base, and Hudson Campbell back in right field, his normal everyday position for us.
So now he's the first baseman. He was playing right field.
He was in right field.
And I was talking about Mason McCrane. But
yeah. Slid him back in to first base. So this is our everyday lineup we're in now with a 4-run lead here, top of the 6th, right where we want to be.
And Braden Butler's up to bat now.
Pender coming in, throwing strikes.
He was put in a tough spot there in that 9th inning, up 4-3. He was on the mound that lost the game. But that's a tough spot for anybody. And to come out here now, and again, he was behind the count, but in this inning so far, he knows the adjustments he needs to make against this Lee Scott lineup.
Yeah, we need to stick to our keys here. You know, down in the bullpen at the school, we got a couple of signs up for the pitchers to see every day, which is, you know, we want to pound the zone and we want to force contact. And that's exactly what we're preaching to Levi right here. We got to force contact on these guys. Make them earn this. Every base they get, they got to earn it. We can't give it to them.
Yeah, we already walked in 2 runs last inning. But another huge hit from Griggs, White, and Wilkinson to make it 7-3 now. And that one's hit off the catcher's face mask to make it 1-2.
Yeah, 1-2 count here. Pender's going to look in. Works out of the stretch all the time, whether a runner's on base or not.
Pender's pitch is going to be down for a base hit. And that's going to be a nice job by Braden Butler getting that one down, Matthew. Big time hit. That was a good pitch, just an even better hit from Butler.
Good pitch, nice breaking ball right there from Pender, and that's a good, he tucked it just inside the line down there, left field side.
Now here comes Ty Jones. He subbed into the game a few innings ago. He's playing second base right now. And he comes in with 1 out, 1 runner on, and he's scored one of the runs last inning.
Yeah, but you know, exactly that hit right there that Lee Scott got, that's what we got to do. We got to put the ball in the zone, make a great pitch, and make them get base hits and earn what they're going to get the rest of the way here.
Pender, pickoff move is no good. But just keeping the runner honest. Got, again, a comfortable 4-run lead. And you need 5 more outs to declare yourself state champions. That one's high.
Lower half of this order for Lee Scott's done a pretty decent job, not only today, but in the entire series. It hadn't necessarily been the fact that they've gotten some big base hits, but it's taken a lot of balls.
Pender. Oh, that was actually pretty close. Good pickoff move. And we've seen, I think, what, 1 today and 2 the other 2 games. So at least 3 pickoff moves that, and I hadn't seen one all year. So that was impressive to me to see 1, let alone 3 here in this series.
You know, yesterday we got the one that it wasn't even really attempting to pick him off. We were throwing over to run him back. But as the runner stood up from his belly, he come off the bag, and we just held the tag on him and got that out.
I got him out. And that one's high for ball 2. But now Pender, I don't think he needs to worry about that runner.
That's right.
We need to worry about getting the out. That's more important, especially with a 4-run lead. And now at 2-0, to Ty Jones. Garrett West, top of the lineup, coming up for Lee Scott again.
So you know something here, I'm gonna talk to you about a little more baseball knowledge. Me being a catcher too, I always love my pitcher helping me keep a runner close, give me a better opportunity to throw a guy out.
Right.
But you don't always have to throw over to first to do that. Really mixing in a good slide step. A pitcher that's got a real good slide step does better job of holding a runner close than throwing over, you know?
And there's a walk right there. But I think that's a great point, and I love hearing this knowledge getting dropped on all the Georgia Alabama Sports Live viewing audience and listeners. But now you got a walk in top of the lineup here for Pender, Matt.
Yeah, he's back to the top of the lineup now, working himself in a little bit of trouble, maybe a little bit of that throwing over to first. We started worrying about something that we really didn't need to worry about.
Right.
And now we fell behind a 9-hole hitter that we needed to get out. We're back to the top of the order for Lee Scott with a man in scoring position.
West is 0 for 3 today and fouls that one back. But again, someone like West, who is probably coming into this game, between him and Jackson, is one of the best bats on the team. Really good pitcher. It's been negated.
West, too, I'm going to tell you, he's a phenomenal right fielder for Lee Scott. He goes and gets balls that you think off the bat are a clean base hit, maybe a double, and he'll run across there and get them. He's a good ball player.
Now has it 1-1. Runners on first and second, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Levi Pender on the mound.
You got to come after him right here. You don't want to go down 2-1 in this count.
And it's going to be low for 2-1. Wide and low. That has been the problem here the last couple of innings with the Glenwood pitchers. And that one's going to be in there for a strike to make it 2-2. Nice job by Levi Pender placing that one.
That's a pitch that the batter was not looking for a breaking ball there with a 2-1 count. He was expecting a fastball, and you kind of saw him shrug his shoulders as his coach said, hey, that's just a great pitch. And he won that one.
2-2. Oh, may have got him, but threw a bad
well, I'm going to tell you, Thrift, wiffle ball in the backyard, he's out. We pegged him with that one before he got back to the bag.
No doubt. He had him, too. If he makes a good throw, I think Griggs can put the tag down in time, but bad throw hits him in the back off the dirt. And now it's 2-2 again to West. Pender. Payoff pitch. Hit up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. They're waving around, and they're going to make a throw to Lawrence. Lawrence, not a good throw.
Yeah, Cam is frustrated with himself there.
He just got away from him.
Had an opportunity to make a play at the plate with a put out, but I don't think he fielded it as clean as he wanted to.
Yeah.
It bobbled around, didn't get a great grip.
That was a good hit, too, right up the middle.
Yep.
And now that's a run, and now Coach Fannin, he wants to talk to Levi. Again, you don't see him out here a lot, but I think he feels the moment of this situation, and it makes you want to calm down his guy.
Yeah, Coach Fanning, a pitcher in his playing days,
Yep.
playing back at Marshall, and so he's really methodical about when he's going to go take a mound visit and what he's going to say. Sees a situation here just to go calm Levi down and get him focused here to get a ball in the zone, because you're looking now. Sam Jackson, I think, is going to be on deck here, so this is a spot where we want to get an out, and to do that, we got to put the ball in the zone. Got some action down in our bullpen. I'm trying to. Light pole's in my way. I can't quite make out who's down there throwing at the moment.
Yeah, but I see him too.
Can't get a number on this guy. It may still be Thomason down there.
Well, now first and second, still one out. A run has come in to make it 7-4. Now shortstop, now pitcher, Ethan Hardy is up to bat. He'd love nothing more than to help himself out. Pender. Throws a strike. Oh, no, he called it a ball.
I like a good pitch from the press box, but, obviously he's closer than I am.
Definitely think that was a strike. And that one's going to be hit to Griggs. Griggs to first. And double play, no. But nice job by Jackson Griggs. Good play by Logan Henderson. Almost got the double play. And now 2 outs. Runners on first and third. And the big bat, the Sam Jackson,
Number 11, Sam Jackson.
who today is 1 for 2. So we'll see if 0 for 2, excuse me. 2 outs here for Jackson.
Here we got to be smart with the baseball with a first and third situation. The runner at first is not. He is a concern, but he's not a big concern for us, last game, in this same situation, the runner at first broke early, and we had him picked off, but then they scored from third on the play.
And that was one of the running advantages that Lee Scott had. I told you in that base running, they did a really good job a couple times. So nice pitch from Pender to get ahead 0-1 to Sam Jackson. Those over to first, not in time, but, man, all of them look close. But I know it makes you nervous. I know you breathe because a bad throw there brings in a run and puts another runner in scoring position.
Just opening the door for so much trouble right there.
And that hit, is it going to get down? That's going to be a base hit for Sam Jackson. Ty Jones comes in, and it's 7-5. You knew he was eventually going to get a hold of one. He's been the best hitter for the Lee Scott this whole series and got a big one there to make it 7-5.
Yeah, they got their 2 runs back. They lost last inning, but, you know, still an opportunity with a runner in scoring position here.
Runners on first and second, 2 outs. And up to bat now is J.D. Burns for Lee Scott.
Yeah, nice job by Pender there, getting that fastball on the zone, getting ahead in the count. Got to stay ahead of this batter here.
Again, ahead of the count on this one, 0-1, high to make it 1-1. Burns. Pender. Still 7-5, Glenwood with the lead. But one at bat could change all of that. 2 outs. 1-1 pitch on the way. Is in there for a ball.
This is where, you know, in my opinion, he hasn't been a bad umpire all day.
No.
There's been some inconsistencies here that, you know, there's a couple of pitches we've seen here recently that I feel were strikes.
2-1 now. And
Yeah.
he fouled it to make it 2-2, and he's frustrated with himself, Burns, because it probably wasn't going to be a strike the way the umpire's been calling this game. So he just wasted one of his strikes to make it 2-2. 2 outs, 2 on. A lot of deuces running wild here.
Running wild here. 2-run lead and everything. Yeah, he definitely offered it a pitch that was going to be ball 3.
Pender can get out of here with Glenwood still having the lead. On the way. High for ball 3.
That's 3 straight up around the shoulders.
Full count. And you expect the runners to take off.
Yeah, runners ought to be moving on the pitch right here.
And there they go. And that one is in for strike 3. What a pitch from Levi Pender. And the umpire says, I finally agree with you, Matt and Thrift. We're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. Gators give up 2, but they still lead 7-5 here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live will be on the road May 15 as we do our show live from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Join Richard Holdridge and myself as we talk about the amazing finish to our high school baseball teams in the area, NBA playoffs, the Columbus Lions, Atlanta Braves, and so much more with our special guests. Be sure to come out and watch us live May 15 at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, and get ready to smile.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone. Third Behringer, Matthew White, as the Gators top of the lineup here to start the bottom of the 6th. They want to add a few more insurance runs as we head to our final inning in regulation.
Yeah, this is a good spot for Glenwood. 2-run lead here, top of the order. You would love to add a run or two, pad that lead again, because here in the last 3 innings we've been trading back and forth. So we've definitely got to. Hopefully we'll get our 2 back.
And it will start right here with McCrane, who
So
bombs that one into the gap, and that's going to be an extra base hit. He's probably going to make 3. He's definitely going to – nope, he's going to hold him up at second. I thought with his long stride, but he lets out a roar and is fired up. And McCrane, who has been the best player in this series, gets another huge hit there to lead off this one.
You know, there's another sign of just a really good coach. You don't want to get that guy thrown out at third for the first out of the inning.
Yep, because I would have waved him, and that's why